Hi everybody, welcome to my live. Thank you for joining me. Hope everyone's having a great start to the week and doing fine. I'm just waiting a second for everything to come up. There's a little bit of a delay, so I have to wait to make sure that I see myself there. And I think we're good. And okay, everything looks good, so I think we're ready to get started. Whoops, hold on one second. I need a new piece of postage. My project sheet just fell down. So let me just post that up real quick and then we're ready. It's got all my measurements to share with y'all. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so I have some really great cards to show you tonight. So I'm gonna turn my camera down and we'll get started right away. All right, let's see how that looks for my camera. Just keeps jumping out of the stand. All right, how's that? Pretty good. Let me just tip it up just a little bit more so it's a little more at the bottom. Okay, I think that's good. All right. I don't know what happened to the time. I ended up coming a couple minutes late. All of a sudden it was 7 o'clock and I was like, oh my goodness. And then my Facebook wouldn't come up on my iPad, so I had to restart my iPad. Anyway, today we're working out of the Sale-A-Bration catalog that goes through the end of August. And in this catalog, you have an opportunity to earn some free items. One of these free items is this set right here, the Wonderful World stamp set. And it comes with the designer series paper. So that's what we're going to be using today. This is free with a $100 purchase. So I got this completely for free. And we'll make some cards out of it. It's a really fun paper. Here's some of the samples that Stampin' Up! Put on the other side. All these items in the Sale-A-Bration catalog I've been talking about every week. So lots of fun things you can choose from. And then Stampin' Up! Just added some more things, so some extra things you can earn for free too. So if you want to know more about that, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to send this to you. Okay. To get to the cards, these are the cards we're going to make tonight. We've got this pretty purple one, wishing you everything wonderful. This really pretty rose card with this beautiful mossy meadow die that we're going to use. A happy birthday card that's a little bit monochromatic. And then this little fun fold card that says beyond grateful. And it just opens up that way. All right, so let's get started. Let me put these aside. So here's the stamp set I was talking about. This is the Wonderful World stamp set that you get for free. These are the actual papers, so I want to show you these. This paper, we're going to cut some of the flowers out, even like this flower for the first card, so I hope you can see this. I hope this is high enough. These are nice big flowers on the paper, and it's got all kinds of beautiful, beautiful patterns, lots of florals, little patterns, big patterns. This one's really fun. That looks like wallpaper to me. Some stripes, just some coordinating things. This is a really pretty pattern too. So lots of fun things that we can make. I don't know if I showed you this one. I like this pattern too. I didn't end up using this one yet, but maybe in the future I can play some more. All right, so that's what we're going to use. And this set, as you can see, the stamp set doesn't come with any sentiments. So for our sentiments, I'm pulling from the Charming Sentiments, and we used this set last week too. And this is a really fun set because it has really nice sentiments, a variety of sentiments for different things. And then it's got coordinating dies, which, you know, you don't have to get the dies. You could just cut these out in banners or rectangles or whatever you want. But if you like the dies, they cut them out, which is really awesome to be really close to what it is, right? So they line up and cut that way. So I'll show you how to do that tonight too. Also, we're going to be using the scalloped contour dies that we use every week for some scallops. And here are the pieces for our first card. Okay, so I've already done some of the die cutting. This background paper, our card base, we're going to use Mary Merlot, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have this little piece of basic white that we're going to do the inside with, so this is 5 1/4 by 4, and I have a little strip of the DSP that we're going to use for the inside of the card. Then I cut this 5¼ by 4" piece of that beautiful DSP that I showed you. So that's going to go on as our first layer. I've also cut one of those scalloped dies I used to cut out this piece of Mary Merlot. And then I used one of the stitched rectangle dies to do the inside, the white part. Now, you don't have to use the stitched rectangle die. You could just cut a rectangle, and it still has this pretty beading around the edge, so you can just cut it plain, and it'd be fine, just fine the way it is. Okay, so the other couple of pieces we're going to need for the card, we're going to want to do some stamping. And we're going to start with the Mary Merlot coordinating color for our stamp. And we're going to stamp the Wishing You Everything Wonderful. So I'm just going to ink this up, put it right in the middle of my white cardstock. This is just a scrap of basic white cardstock. And then I'm going to go ahead and take that die. And it's going to set up right like this. And we're going to run it through the die cutting machine. Okay, so let me line it up, and I'm just going to use a little piece of Post-it tape just to keep it in place while I run it through. And you can see this is a really tight die, so I want to make sure I have it lined up just perfect so it doesn't cut off any of the words. And I'm just going to use that to stick in. Then I'm going to bring over my mini cut and emboss machine, and this will be perfect for setting this through. And super easy. This is a super nice, super smooth machine to use, and I like it because it's small, so it's easy to move around. And we're just going to take that off. And that's it. Look how pretty that is for our sentiment. Okay, so the other thing that we're going to do is cut out the big flower. And I'm just going to use a pair of scissors, and I'm going to take this big piece of DSP right here, and I'm just going to get my paper snips, and I'm going to cut out this big flower right here. And this should only take me a minute to cut out. Look at all the choices. Look at all the different cards you can make with all these different flowers and the different colors. You could do purple card, you could do a pink card, you could do a white card, all kinds of choices. So I'm just going to go around and leave a little bit of a white edge and not be too terribly careful, because I don't think we're going to put it on a white background, so it's going to be pretty forgiving if it's not perfect. And we're not going for perfection with card making. I thought about doing this ahead of time so you didn't have to watch me cut. But then I thought, I want you to see how pretty that paper is all in one piece together before I chop it up. And it only takes a couple minutes to cut this out. And I'm going to come back and go in on a couple of those little areas. I'm just kind of going to get the basic outline first. Hope everybody's enjoying summer. School's going to start pretty soon. I thought for a minute maybe it was starting today because we have a high school down the street, and my husband came back from his walk and said that it was really a lot of traffic and a lot of people in the parking lot at the high school. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's really early for school to start. But I don't know, they must have been having an orientation or something, because school does not start till the 22nd. So 2 more weeks of not so much traffic. So, but I hope you're enjoying the rest of your summer before it's back to school, and before you know it, well, I'm not going to say Christmas, but I feel like once we get to this time of the year, things start to sneak up pretty quickly on us. Okay, so I'm just cutting out a little bit more of the white here and there, and we're just about ready to have this ready for our card. So very little supplies for this card right here. I'm just going to do one more little area. So you can just basically work with the DSP and the stamp set and make some really cute cards, right? Okay, that's it. That's all we're going to do. Our flower is cut out and ready, and we're ready to start assembling our card. So let's get our card base, and we'll do the first layer, which is just going to be our designer series paper. And we'll put that on with some seal. And then we'll attach this white piece to our Mary Merlot scallop. I've never been, you know, some people either love purple or they're like, not so much. I've never been a huge purple fan, but I love these colors together. I think they're so pretty. All right, I'm going to take some dimensionals and pop our flower up onto our white. I like a lot of dimension in my cards. I don't like them to be all flat. And we'll put that right about here on the card. Then I'm going to take my sentiment and add a couple dimensionals to that. Can you see me? Am I working too low on the field today? I want to make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. Let me move my chair up just a little bit. Okay. And we'll put this right across right here. Okay. Then I'm just going to pop this whole thing up onto the card base that we've started. And I love these dimensionals. They're like the perfect height. They're so easy to use. And we'll center that right in the middle. On the inside of our card, because we have a dark card base, we're just going to add some white. Now you could add another sentiment on the inside if you would like to. You could stamp a flower. There's so many things you could cut out a flower. I'm just going to add a little strip of DSP at the bottom. Right like that. Just to add a little border. And then I can do my writing inside when I'm ready to send this card. Lastly, I'm going to use some of these iridescent rhinestone pearls, iridescent pearls basic jewels. And I don't know if the camera's going to do this justice, but it is so, so pretty. These are just, they have such a beautiful sheen to them. I'm in love with this embellishment. So pretty. So let's just take some of these and put them on the front of our card. Make it all fancy. Maybe one here. And a couple more at the bottom. And that's it. What do you think? Do you like that card? You can use whatever sentiment you like too. If you don't like wishing you everything wonderful, you want to do a thank you card, a birthday card, change the sentiment. It's your card. Do whatever you like. Do whatever you feel when you're making your card. Okay, so that's our first card. I want to mention that this week I have my host code up, right? For this week, if you order by Saturday with me and use this host code. This week I'm not doing make and takes because if you order and get the stamp set and the paper, then you'll have the paper that you can go ahead and cut. So I thought it'd be fun to include a pack of these iridescent rhinestone basic jewels with your order. So if you order by Saturday with me, you'll get a pack of these for free, and that'll help you complete your cards. Okay, on to the next card. Let's do this card next. And this is, I made into a thank you card. And I think that's really pretty. I've been wanting to use these dies. I have these split texture card dies. And I'll show you this. This is the one that I used, and this is the other one. So I haven't used this one yet, but I love the look of these, and I've been wanting to use this die set. So this is what I did to make this week's card. I've also used this layering circles dies, which I use pretty much every week to stamp our flower on. So let's get started on that. Here are our pieces for this card. Okay, so we're starting with Mossy Meadow regular card base. And let me show you, because, you know, I show you guys, here's the card base every week, but I don't actually show you what we're doing with the card base. So let me just take a piece of paper and just show you really quick what I do. I'm just going to pick any piece of paper out of my stash here. This is Mango Melody, right? So you have your 8.5 by 11 normal sheet of cardstock, and we're just gonna cut it down to 5.5, and we're just gonna cut it right in half. And so you can get 2 cards out of a sheet of paper. And then we're gonna score it at 4.25. So we're gonna line it up to 4.25. And the nice thing about this Stampin' Up cutter is it has a little score tool in it. So we're just gonna score it right there. And you can see you get this beautiful score line. And it makes making your card bases really easy. You get a nice clean fold, a nice edge on your card like that. That's why I'm a fan of this one. I also have a big cutter that's kind of a more of a commercial cutter that I use for bigger stuff, but this I use for most of my cards just because I love this little piece right here. It's awesome. Okay, so that's our card base. Then I took another piece of the Designer Series paper from that same set, and this is 5.25 by 4. And I'm gonna put that aside for now. I had another piece of Mossy Meadow that I did the die cutting with, and this one was 5.25 by 3.5. And I just lined my die up at the edges. Let me pull it out and show you how I did that. So it's upside down. I had my rectangular piece of card, and then I just lined it up like this, and I sent it through my machine, okay, and it cut like that. And then I just took my cutter and just cut off the angle right here, okay. What I'm actually going to do is take my pair of scissors now and make a better edge of it. So I'm just going to take my scissors, and I'm just kind of want to mimic Messy again, the edge of this. So I'm just cutting that down so it looks like a messy edge. And that's it. So this is ready to go down as a layer. So the other half of this is going to be on the card like this, right? But I don't want this to show in the background. I want the green. So what I did then was I just took a pencil and I traced what I just cut. So I'm just tracing right along the edge here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut that. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect either, because I'm probably going to move it over just a tiny, tiny bit to make sure the edges don't show. And it won't matter because my other edge is straight, so I can go over as far as I want. It gives me a little bit of breathing room on this. Okay, so we have that. We'll save this for something else. And I'm ready to start putting things down on my card. So I'm going to start by putting this piece down first, and I'm just going to adhere this with some seal. Oops, let me put this over here so I can get a nice clean. A little bit right like that too. All right, and I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a border. See if I can make it kind of even, right like that. This one I'm going to glue down. And again, I want to cover up the little bit of the edge right here. And so I'm just going to have my edge like that. So what I'm going to use for this, because look how thin this is, I'm going to get out my favorite little glue pen. And this is the Zig that I got on Amazon, the two-way glue. And I like it because it's easy to put on, and it goes on blue and dries clear. So I can see exactly where I'm putting it, and I can be messy because I've got something underneath it. Now, right now I have just a little piece of scrap, right, that I'm using underneath it. I could also use, and sometimes I do this, we have this little silicone mat if you don't want to waste paper, and do it on top of there, because once the glue dries on here, you can just roll it off and it's nice and clean. But I'm just using my piece of scrap paper today, and I want to make sure I get this nice and full of glue so it sticks nicely. And I think it's nice and sticky because it's stuck to my fingers right now. And then we're going to line this up, right, so the edge is here, and right, so the edge is there. And then I'm just going to press it down and hold it down so it stays in place for a minute. Isn't that pretty? I love that. I want to use some more of this dye and make something else. Okay, so next I'm going to take my piece of ribbon, and this is like an old olive ribbon combo pack. So it comes with this spool of old olive ribbon and also I think Sahara sand ribbon. So you get 2 ribbons in the pack. So I'm just going to tie a bow along the edge of my card here. And I love the sheen on this ribbon. I just think it looks so pretty and it coordinates nicely with the mossy meadow. So we're just going to put our bow up like this. And we'll just clip off the edges. Oh, look, I've already got ink on my fingers. And we've got our bow right there. I think that's, let me move it down just a little bit. Make sure it's centered. Okay. All right, next I want to do some stamping. So I've already cut my circles. And I've got my inner circle with the basic white, and then I cut a vellum circle too, and these are scallop circles. Then I'm going to use my Stamparatus to go ahead and stamp my rose. So I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to put my piece of paper here, and let me just put a couple little magnets to hold it down. And then I'm going to put my rose where I want it to go. I'm going to have to move this one, I think. And I think I need it right about here. Let's see if I have another place I can put my magnet. I don't want them too close because they stick to each other and they're really strong. Okay, so I think that'll be good right there. I can get unstuck. I'm gonna pick it up with my plate. And you know what? Because this is one of the red rubber stamps and not the photopolymer, I need to take this piece out. So let me try that again without this piece. So let me put this. These magnets are so strong. I'm gonna try it like right there. Okay, let's line it up again where we want it to be. I think that looks good. Now the best way to do this is to do it and then cut the circle around it, because then you get it exactly perfectly in the center. But I'm going to do it the hard way today. So because we're using 2 colors on the stamp, I'm going to take some Post-it tape, and this I also got from Amazon, and I'm just going to tape off that piece right there. I'm starting to make a mess. And so I'm going to stamp in the polished pink. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my flower, right like that. Then I'm going to remember to remove my Post-it tape. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp it and see how that looks. That looks pretty good. I have a little thing right here that showed up, which I'm not crazy about, but I think I can do something with that in a minute. All right, so now I'm going to take my chamois and clean that off, because I'm going to be ready for my next color, which is going to be Mossy Meadow for the leaves. Okay, I want to get that dry before I put my ink, otherwise my Post-it tape isn't going to stick. So let me see if I can get that a little bit dried off. All right, so this time I'm going to mask off the rose, right like that. And one little piece should do fine. And then I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow ink and ink up the leaves. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. All right, take off the Post-it tape. Stamp it. Pretty, and it covered up our little pink splotch too, so we don't even have a problem. So that came out great. All right, let me put something, a little scrap, because I'm going to clean this later. Okay. All right, let's put this together. So I'm going to go ahead and put this onto our vellum. Right, center it like that. Isn't that a pretty little rose? Okay, and then I'm going to pop this up. Put it on the card. Now I have another scrap because we still have to stamp and cut our sentiment. So I'm going to put that right about there. And we're going to use the thank you stamp again. Or not again for the first time, but from the same set. And just stamp that. And then I would use the die. And this is the one for the thank you. And line it up and cut it out. I've already done that in advance. And there it is right there. So let's pop that up onto our card. And then lastly, well, we have two more things to do. Let's put this right about here, which looks good. Let's do the inside. Same thing I did on the inside as the other card. Now you could stamp the rose again on the inside. That would be really pretty too. And with the stamp apparatus, it's easy to do more than one at a time. But I'm taking the easy way out again and just adding a little strip to the bottom. Okay, lastly, let's put on some of these beautiful pearls again. Let me clean up some of my toys here because I'm starting to make a mess. Okay, and I'm just going to add some of these here, there, and just one more. All right, I love this card. What do you guys think? Do you like this card? I think it's really pretty. Okay, that's card number 2. Let's go on to the next one, which is going to be this birthday card here. And these are the pieces for this card. Okay, so this time we're going to use one of our new in colors, and that's the Orchid Oasis. So same card base as before, and that's all ready. I used the scallop dies to cut out basic white of the biggest one, and we're just going to do layers. Now this is the in color Orchid Oasis, and this is from the little in color designer series paper they have that you can get for all the new in colors. So these are the 5 new in colors from this year, and you get the 5 colors and a couple of sheets, I think 4 sheets of each. And they've got patterns. There's 4 different patterns. So there's stripes and the flowers, there's plaid and the polka dots, right? So a lot of variety. You can incorporate this to any of your card designs. So I chose this little flower pattern to go on the inside. So we're going to layer that there. Then we're going to do another scalloped white. And then we're going to do another scalloped Orchid Oasis. And then this one I cut out of the same die, but I'm just going to cut off. See how it's kind of split right here? I'm just going to take a pair of scissors and just finish that off. So I just have a white rectangle on the inside of my Orchid Oasis, the last scallop. So I'm just clipping that off with a pair of scissors. Nice and easy. All right, all these scraps. And so that's going to go there. So this is what we're going to stamp on. So let's do our stamping first, and then we'll assemble our card. Okay, let me get another piece of scrap paper because I'm going to stamp a little bit over the edges of this right here. And here is my Orchid Oasis stamp pad. And for this one, we're going to use this flower die from the stamp set, which is really pretty. And this is one of these, I can't remember what they call these dies with the it shades it for you. I mean, these dies are beautiful. Look how beautifully it shades the flower with just one color of ink. Amazing. I just love it. Can anybody think of what that's called? I can't remember what it's called. Okay, I'm going to ink that up. Oh, I might have overdone it with the ink. And I'm going to go ahead and put that kind of where I want it. which I think is about right here, and stamp it. And I think that came out good. And then I'm also going to use the same ink and just a scrap of paper again and do wishing you the happiest of birthdays. And then from that same set, use another one of the dies to cut out the sentiment. And this one, I can show you, goes just like this on here. And I've already cut that one out. So we're ready to go on that. And let's assemble our card. So this is just one layer after another. Super easy. And just centering. And we'll put our piece of DSP in the middle. Now this this in color DSP is 4.5 by 3 1/4. That fits right inside of our scalloped die. Whoops, there probably isn't a right side, but I feel like this is the upside. Probably looks the same if I turn it upside down, but okay. All right, next one, we're gonna go white again. And adhere this down. And this one I'm going to put up because I want my sentiment at the bottom. So I'm going to put this one centered, but at the top, right here. Okay. Next, I'm going to take the piece that we stamped and adhere that to the Orchid Oasis. I think this is the smallest of those dies in the set. And we'll put this right here. Then I'm going to pop this one up. So let me get a few dimensionals here. And we'll have that come up right in the middle right here. I hope I got that kind of straight. All right. All right, so this is a little bit little, I guess. Can I fit regular dimensionals or do I need to put some minis? Let's see. See if I can fit. Oh yeah, the regular dimensionals fit fine. So I'm just going to get a couple. Although I think I'm going to put 3 here because I want it to lay nice and even. And I am actually going to get out some minis because I want to do the ends so the ends don't stick up or so that they lay nicely. So let me get a couple of our minis and just put a couple minis right on the edge here of the sentiment. And hopefully I got that in the right space so it's not showing over the edge. Nobody likes for your slip to show. Now I'm showing my age by talking about slips, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, and we'll put that right there. Let's put a bow, and for this I've got that beautiful glittered white organdy ribbon. And I'm just gonna tie a bow with this. And then we're gonna adhere that with a glue dot. Let me make it smaller. And cut off the ends. And get a glue dot. And we'll put this right here for the stems. Lay that out. Okay, and a couple of, I'm going to use the little ones. And I put 2 on this side, and I put 3 on the other side up here. Okay, just like that. All right, card number 3 all finished. Okay, let's do our last card, and this is going to be the one that we're doing for that says Beyond Grateful. And again, use any sentiment that you like. You could do a happy birthday card, a thank you card, and this is going to be our fun full card. So we're going to start with a little bit dimensions, different dimensions right off the bat, and let me go over those with you. Hold on 1 second. I need a drink of water for 1 second. Okay. All right, so I'm using polished pink cardstock for this card. And this one, I started, it was 8.5 by 4.5, and I've scored it at 3 inches, right? And so I fold it over this way. So that's one piece of the card. And then the other piece of polished pink, I cut at 8 by 3 inches, and I scored that in half at 4. Okay, so those are the two pieces of polished pink, and they're gonna go like this, okay? And then I got the designer series paper and cut that out. So this big piece of designer series paper is 5 1/4 by 4, and that's gonna go right here. And then I cut another one that's 4 by 2 3/4 that's gonna go here, okay? So that's gonna be the base of the card. And then this one, we're going to take one of those scalloped dies out of basic white. That's going to go on the front here. And this piece of designer series paper, which I think this one is the 3 1/4 by 2 inches, that's going to go inside here. Okay, so you can see that's how we're going to assemble. And then we're going to have a little bit of white inside, which right in the inside of our card. And I use just another little piece for the border. So this one on the flower is going to be another cutout. So I'm going to get back out my piece of paper. And this one, I did this one here, but I cut off the top part because it was too big. I didn't want both parts of it. So let me take a second and cut this one out. And this will just take me a second to cut out. It's very quiet in the house right now. I don't hear the dogs. I don't hear anything. And I'm not complaining. That's not a bad thing. Okay, I don't know why I just did that because I'm going to cut it off right here. So let me go around this edge here, and I'm going to get close because the green was kind of in the way, but I don't think you really notice that when you're looking at the card as much. And then I'm going to go back to having the little bit of a white border around it. So this is a pretty easy cut, nice rounded edges. And I feel like the cutting goes pretty fast on these. They're nice big images too, which is helpful. All right, we're almost done with this one. The outside. And this one I didn't get crazy and go on the inside to cut the white out. But I think it looks fine like that. If you really wanted to, you could go inside and cut these little pieces of white. Actually, I'm going to cut this one out. It's just this one I'm going to leave. But I think it looks fine like that. Okay, that's good like that. And I am just going to sneak in here real quick and just do a little bit right here. And then we're going to be done and ready to assemble our card. Okay, that looks good, right? Let me just clean up this edge a little bit. I got a little not so rounded right there. Okay, so we have our beautiful flower to put on. And we're ready to assemble. So let's start with the big piece first. And we're just going to take seal to attach this. And we'll center that up. We'll put this piece on the outside. Okay, then the inside layer, we'll get that going. So on the inside of that is where we're going to put this. This side. And again, this is just a little piece of basic white. And do I have, let's see, 3 3/4 by 2 3/4. That goes on the inside right here. And then our little strip of DSP that coordinates and matches. Okay, then we're going to flip over, and this side we're going to go ahead and attach this piece of DSP to the middle of our scallop that we cut out of basic white. And I just cut just a straight up rectangle because you can still see the little stitching, the little detail that's around the edge there from the scallop die. And then let's get our flower and pop that up. And we'll put that at an angle, right like that. Get some of this stuff out of the way. Okay, now this one needs a sentiment too. So this one I used the Mossy Meadow again, and this time the sentiment I used is Beyond Grateful. Again, just stamped on the scrap. And then I used the die. Let's see, I think this is the one that fits. And you can see how that lines up right there, like right tight on the edges. And I've gone ahead and die cut that for us already too. So that's all ready to go. So I'll get some dimensionals for that. And we'll put our sentiment on the card right about here. And then let's pop this whole thing up onto the polished pink. Whoops. Okay. My nails are getting in the way. And I'll kind of center that as best I can right there. All right, so I'm going to add some seal to the back of this part right here. And then I'm going to center it right about here, right in the center. And then that opens this way, just like that, okay? Let's add some more of that pretty ribbon. And again, I've got my ribbon got a little wrinkled from being in the envelope. But I've got that pretty glitter. Can you see how pretty that glitter is? This white ribbon is really beautiful. It's so sheer and glittery. And we're just going to tie this around right here. Add a little sparkle to the card. And cards, every card's better with ribbon, right? Okay. That turned out to be a pretty ugly bow, right? Let's see if we can fix that up a little bit. I'm going to make it just a little bit tighter. Okay, that'll work. And we'll clip off this side. Okay, lastly, I'm going to move this over just a little bit more towards the edge. And lastly, we'll add some more of those beautiful iridescent pearls. Move our bow so it's a little bit more vertical. That looks good. And these iridescent pearls, will add some more of these. Now, the other thing you can do with these iridescent pearls is if you want them in a certain color, you can use the Stampin' Blends, the blends markers, and color them whatever you want. I could have made these pink or green. You can just color them with the alcohol markers and make them any color that you want, but they are just gorgeous, just the way they are in the white. Okay, so that is our last card for today. I hope you like the cards that we made. Let me just bring them back and show you all the cards again. So we made these right here. Then we used that really pretty die set to make the thank you cards. We went with one color here to make the birthday card, and then our little fun fold card. I hope you like the cards that I designed and made tonight. Let me tell you about a couple quick little things from Stampin' Up, and then I will show you what I have in store for next week's live. So just a quick reminder, if you would like the measurements, just email me at sunshineandsparklesstamping@gmail.com, and I will be happy to send you the measurement and supply sheet for these projects. Quick reminder, tomorrow is the last day to order paper pumpkin. If you want to get this sweet sunflower kit, again, you can email me. I'll be happy to send you information on that. And one thing I keep forgetting to tell y'all every week, if you want to join, you can join Stampin' Up, order $125 worth of product for only $99. And right now during Sale-A-Bration, they are offering this making plans kit for free you get if you join. So you get this beautiful planner, and it's got stickers and calendar and monthly focus, like all these different, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous planner. It comes with a stamp set, and it also comes with these 3 little notebooks, which are just awesome. So you get all that for free, and here's all the paper that I didn't put in the planner yet. But it's a really gorgeous planner. I'm happy that I was able to get one of those. All right, more information, email me and I'll send you information on that. And let me show you what I have for next week. Next week, we're going to use the Cheerful Basket bundle, which is this bundle right here. And it's got some really cute dies and really cute things, kind of a back to school fall theme to it. So these are the cards that we're going to make. I've got a cute little fall hello basket with the apples and the little kitty. Autumn Wishes, where we kind of did like a chalkboard thing with the back to school supplies. And then just to show the versatility of it, you fill my day with happiness with the hearts in the basket. So those will be our projects for next week. I hope you can join me next Tuesday. And thank you so much for watching today, and hope you all have a great rest of